Hi everyone, it's Lisa Finkel from Finkel Pottery coming to you from Prince Edward Island, Canada's smallest province on the east coast of Canada on a beautiful summer day. Although believe it or not, it is starting to feel like fall here. So I do have a kiln opening for you here today, as well as a few decal pieces. So I kind of just waited and did it all together. So the kiln's been open for a little while, but I'll show you the highlights. A little bit of homework before I get started. A huge thank you to one of my YouTube viewers, Susan. Susan is one of those viewers who every time I post a video always has the sweetest, kindest, most positive comments. So Susan, thank you for that. And she was visiting PEI. I didn't get a chance to meet up with her, but she dropped me off a jar of Spectrum cactus glaze, which was like someone dropped me off a jar of gold because I've been out of it and I need to make rainbow mugs and the soft green wasn't really working for me. So wowza, thank you, Susan. And she made me the most beautiful card too with the kindest words in it. So people are really, really lovely. Yeah. Oh, I did want to address one comment that was a few videos back. Someone chimed in saying, oh, you guys are all just promoting glazes that the companies are paying you to do and blah, blah, blah. And it was like, I thought, well, you know, when I used to teach communications, I used to say to students, you know, you can't over communicate. You can under communicate always, but you can't over communicate. So I just to make it clear, as far as glazes go, I'm not sponsored, but I wish I was sponsored by someone. That would be exciting. But I'm not. And I'm not sponsored by any decal companies or anything like that. Just sharing the knowledge, sharing the love. So it's good for people to know that, right? Maybe people think, oh, they're just using glazes that they're getting or whatever, and that's not the case. And I just took it that way. No big deal. Yeah, and I think that's about all I have. Oh, my studio's done. Electrical's all done. So still have to move in, hopefully this weekend. I'm going to get to that. So that'll be great. And fired to 2190, held for 5 minutes, dropped down to 1900, held for 30 minutes. You guys must know the drill by now. Yeah, so I think that's it. I'm just going to dive right in. I don't think there was anything else I had to tell you guys. Oh, I also wanted to shout out to Colleen, who a few videos back, if you watched, I mentioned she came to the island, a YouTube viewer, and gifted me with some amazing 3D stamps, which I have used, and it's lovely. And I reached out to her because I really wanted a donkey stamp because the road I live on now, we're kind of in the country, and at the end of my road, there is the most amazing ranch. She does a lot of therapeutic work, equine therapy, all that kind of stuff. Very, very busy place, and the people that run it are lovely, and they have a lot of horses. And they have the sweetest donkey. I haven't been able to get a good picture of her. I'll insert here the picture I have of her. Yeah, so anyway, her name is Rosie. And I love donkeys. Donkeys are one of my favorite creatures. My husband says I'm a really stubborn person, so maybe they're my spirit animal, who knows. Anyway, she's a miniature, she's a little donkey. She's not one of the great big ones. She's like, I don't know, she'd be up to she might be like 3 or 4 feet high. She reminds me of the donkey in Shrek. Anyway, she is adorable. She's very friendly. They have her pinned this summer, but in the winter, she kind of just roams around. She's always around the barn. She doesn't take off or anything like that. And anyway, she's got the biggest voice. So those of you who are familiar with donkeys would know that they have loud voices, big feelings, big voices. And so 2 or 3 times a day, I'll hear that voice just echoing across the field, just makes me smile. Sometimes it's in the middle of the night even, and even that makes me happy. So she's really cool. Anyway, so Colleen, thank you again. And if anyone's thinking of reaching out, I do not believe she's doing any kind of orders or anything like that. This is just something she did for me as a favor. Colleen, if that's different, chime in and let me know. So anyway, I'm going to start on this side. The glaze did not turn out exactly as I hoped, but I'm still okay with it. I wanted something really bright because Rosie's, to me, a very bright, happy character. So the bottom is Amico Satin Matte Light Blue. The top was 1 coat of pearl white and 2 coats of autumn purple, Spectrum Autumn Purple. But I think, and the inside's just clear. So I think next time I would do 2 coats of pearl white and then the autumn purple, because you'll see on the next one I did that, and I think that would have been closer to the color. I don't know if I would refire it though, because, you know, then you risk it coming in over the medallion. But check out Rosie. These are just underglazes with Emiko Mixing Clear on top. I got the teeniest bit of body staining, and I tried to clean and clean and clean, but I broke my own rule. So my own rule is I don't inlay like stamps or appliques or letters or whatever with underglaze, especially black or blue, because they body stain like a bugger. But if I used obsidian in here or my black glaze, for some reason it cleans up a lot better. But of course I broke my own rule. So I did get a little body staining, but I don't care. Still adorable. So Colleen, what do you think? I think you did Rosie proud. So that's one. And then the other Rosie, I used the chartreuse with 2 coats of pearl white and then autumn purple on top. Once again, I probably wouldn't do this again. The chartreuse came out a little more neon than I wanted, but I'm not going to refire that. So, but the purple turned out really pretty. So yeah, Rosie the donkey. Love, love. Next, I have some crow mugs. And so the crow mugs are with, the crow decals are Xpressions decals. I think you can buy directly from their website, or you can order on Etsy. And then they have, this one has a gold half moon at the back, and that one is sandbow. And then first I just put black lettering in the letters, wiped it back, and then waxed over it. This is just honey flux, the background for the crow. This is a dip in holly green. This is river birch with a little bit of flux. And that is, I think that would be a really pretty Christmas combo, wouldn't it? The dark green and the creamy white. So that is that. Here's another crow mug. This one was a complete dip in black after I wiped back the letters, and then the Xpressions decal. I didn't put gold on this one because it had a big old crack in the bottom. But I did the water test. I did the boiling water test. I sat it on a piece of paper towel overnight. It did not leak. So I have someone who wants to buy it as a second. So I always have a few customers, I don't know if you guys do, that are always looking for seconds. So I just kind of have them on speed dial, and it's like, this is it. It might last a month, might last, you know. So as long as they go in with eyes open, it doesn't bother me in the least to do that. This is my Joy mug. So the other mugs I'm going to call Rosie, the little donkey. And this is my Joy mug. This was also made for me by Colleen. Oh my God, look at that. I mean, look at the happy little face of the foxy. I had one of these in my last load, I think. So the bottom is Power Turquoise by, is it Laguna? I think it's Laguna. Top is Mako Norse Blue dipped. And then where they meet, there is Olive Float. And clear inside. That is adorable, if I do say so myself. This one also had a big old crack. So I fired it as a tester because I'd gotten some new fox decals from Xpressions. And I used to use their watercolor style foxes, and they worked great for me. And then all of a sudden they started burning out, and I contacted them and I said, did you change your formula? And they said no. And then I tried firing it a bunch of different ways, and I have a bunch of them left. and I just couldn't get them to work. So I ordered some new Fox decals from them, and I thought, well, this is a great opportunity to fire one of them to see if that orange will hold in the kiln, and it does. So I'll go back to making some of my Starry Night mugs, which I don't know if any of you might remember, but they were super, super popular. So this is honey flux in the bottom, 2 thick coats, and then on the sides, 2 coats of ginger, 2 thick coats, spectrum ginger, and then just on the very rim, I've got some Mako amaryllis. Yeah, so that turned out good. I'm happy they worked out. So I do have more of these. So I call these cheese ball bowls. I sell them like that, and I sell them with a little, I just get these from Amazon. If you Google wooden pate knife or wooden dip knife or whatever, you'll get a ton of options. So you can pick the one that works best for you. This one just works for me. Often if I go to a farmer's market and there's someone doing turned wood, they'll often sell a bunch of these really reasonably, but I haven't found any lately, so I had to go with Amazon. So here is another Xpressions decal. It's a Highland Coup, and then it's the exact same colors, the amaryllis, the honey flux, etc., etc. And then I'll print off a little, cheese ball recipe and add that to it. So I think that makes a nice little gift for somebody. And here's another Highland Coup. Now this one is curry, spectrum curry with the honey flux. And I did get a tiny bit of driftage, nothing major. I can clean that up, no problem. Matter of fact, I've already started on the cleanup process. But I only did 2 coats. My kiln might have fired hot. I'm not sure. I didn't have cones in. And once again, the curry, and this one also from Xpressions Tractor. The island I live on is very farm driven. Farm and fishing and tourism are the 3 major industries. So that's that. You know, and I think it's interesting that when you sell things to people, if you give them an idea for what to use the object for, that's what they want to use it for, even though what I just showed you could be for anything. But, you know, cheese balls, it is. So, to keep the Highland Coup train going, this is a stamp from 3D Commotion on Etsy. This is leather, Mako leather, 3 coats. This is a dip and power turquoise, and then a coat, actually 2 coats of seaweed. I'm pretty sure I did 2 because didn't get a lot of drippage, but I don't think it needs it. So I did 2 of those. And then, I don't think I showed you this one. So this is another coffee, exact same. This one's got the full moon and gold at the back, the crow, the dip in black completely. And then this has Spectrum Reactive Red, which on black turns kind of this bluey purple. So I think that turned out cool. I'm going to get myself confused because I'm buckshotting what I'm showing you here. I might as well show you these next. So I'm heading to Greece on September 20th, and typically I will bring some pottery with me. We tend to see a lot of the same people when we go because we stay at some similar spots. So I always try to bring a few gifts for them. Matter of fact, I think if I came without pottery now, I'd be in trouble. So one interesting thing about Europeans is that I've run across, I'm sure there's some exceptions, but the majority of them do not love to guzzle big amounts of coffee like perhaps we North Americans can tend to want to do. So I make them smaller when I go there. So this is got the little finger dimple with a nice size handle. And I would say at the most a 10-ounce mug, probably a 9-ounce. And because I've measured them. And I wanted to do a rainbow mug, but I didn't want to go all 6 layers. So I just took it down a bit. So this is, and just stripes overlapping, 2 coats. So we've got curry, sunrise, shallot, floating turquoise, all spectrum. So I did 3 of those. Here we go. And then I did a few of my Sunset on Route 2 mugs. So this is Louisiana Bayou, all spectrum, Louisiana Bayou. Then it's a little, all overlapping slightly. Papaya, sunrise. Before I put the glacier on, I put a couple of coats of Bayou on the rim and then 2 coats of glacier. I really like this. I like the contrast of the deep blue and the papaya and the sunrise. I think it's really pretty. One's just a little different style. One of the people I make these for is called Dmitri, and he's on an island called Kufinicia. And he's a real character. He's a really interesting Greek man. And he loves his Greek coffee, but the first time I brought him a mug, he says, it's really, really nice. He said, but I only drink little coffee. So this one is probably still too big for him, but whatever. He can use it for a pen holder. All right, I showed you all that. I'm a little discombobulated today. So this one is kind of the classic. So inside to the top was 2 thick coats of honey flux. And I love painting glaze inside of bowls or brushing glazes inside of bowls because you can really slather the old glaze on, right? Because it's not dripping off. So 2 coats would probably be the equivalent of 3 coats on a mug for me. And then I did 2 coats of sunrise on the outside. And then I did a thin coat of papaya on the rim. And then over that, I did amaryllis, just on the rim. And it ran. And I can't decide. I think I want to refire it, but I think I'll put it on stilts and refire, I guess, and just try. Because I hate it when you get this bubbling. My fault, it's sunrise. I should know better. That sunrise just loves to run if it's at the bottom of something. So here's 2 more in the exact same treatment. Now, luckily, these guys did not, I think, just a little tiny run right there. No, it didn't. It just stopped short. So, lesson learned on that. No, it's not a lesson learned. I've done this 10 million times. There we go. It's a pretty treatment. I do like the addition of the papaya over the sunrise. I think it really adds a little drama to the pink or the peachy color or whatever you want to call it. I'm trying to remember what I did on this one. Oh yeah, okay, I remember. The outside is micro pearl. Micro pearl. And I was so excited, I thought I was going to get this creamy. I got some crystallization. I think you can see if you look. But I got this ugly mauvey thing, which I'm not refiring. But if anyone uses it and you know what I'm doing wrong, I'm thinking it said on the bottle it likes a hot 6, I think, or it likes a 6. And I'm going to 2190, which is not quite a 6. I mean, my cones will often show a 6 because of the slow cool and the heat work, but it doesn't mean it's getting to that temp. because a cone shows you heat over time, right? So it's not necessarily always going to be showing you what temp you got to. So anywho, I'm going to leave it, but I probably won't use it again unless I'm doing a, like I still have some copper float that I've been avoiding because it doesn't like the slow cool either. And maybe I'll do like a kiln load of micro pearl and that. And I know a few other glazes that behave well no matter what. So maybe I'll try to do a load of that at some point as we get closer to Christmas. Anyway, that was a long story, wasn't it? Sorry. This is Norse blue inside. I let the micro pearl just come over the edge a little bit. And then I painted it on the edges with probably to about here with blue hydrangea. And then I put probably this much flux, light flux. Blue hydrangea does beautiful things with flux. It goes really white. Like sometimes when you use flux, you might get a muddy effect, but it's very sort of white and dramatic. So that's pretty. And there's a little dimple. All right, so a lot of PEI girl mugs. So most of you know by now, if you follow me, but PEI stands for Prince Edward Island. It's Canada's smallest province. It's where I live. And these mugs are basically gone crazy. So this load had 24 PEI girl mugs. This is what I call my cloud pink combo. So clear inside, soft red. This is 2 coats of honey flux, 1 coat of river birch. This is sangria that I put in the letters and then wipe back. So you can see when you use glaze and wipe back versus underglaze, you get less body staining. For the most part, blues are still really hard. Anything with a lot of cobalt in it is... And I have tried the magic eraser, and I did try the magic eraser on the fox mug and the donkey, but it just was pretty darn stubborn. So I think I did 4 in the cloud pink. And they're all just slightly different sizes, shapes, all that good stuff. This is Louisiana Bayou on the bottom, curry on the top, 2 thick coats of each. Then I did 2 coats of river birch and then a coat of light flux over that. I got a lot of drippage, so I mean I could have done just 1 coat of river birch, wasn't sure, but the drippage is quite pretty. And then just clear inside. And the clear is just a studio clear that I make, and I pour it in and pour it out and let it dry. And if I have lots of time, which I don't always have, but if I have lots of time, then I will wax my mugs, line my mugs with whatever glaze, walk away, let them dry, and then go through the glazing process because it sticks a lot better, adheres, whatever. It makes the glaze you put on the outside of your mug or piece, it works better, easier. So this is sangria and sangria in the letters with the honey flux and river birch on the bottom. And the cloud pink mugs had sangria. I don't know if I mentioned that. Okay, I did 6 of these, which are Pottery Supply House Purple Haze, which I have in dipping form. It is a very almost celadon-like glaze, and if you're brushing it, you got to put on a lot of coats. Dipping, when I put it in the mugs, inside the mugs works great. I just pour it in, wait a couple of seconds, and pour it out. I pipe the purple into the letters, and if there's any messes, I just wipe it back a bit, but it's a pretty clean process. And then I do 3 coats of Mako Mint Speck. And there's little purple specks that match the purple inside. When I'm dipping Purple Haze, I double dip because Otherwise, I find it's too streaky looking. But it's really affordable, Pottery Supply House dipping glazes, especially if you're in Canada and you get the big batch. Like, I'm still working on it. I've made so many pieces and I still have so much left in the bucket. So I think it comes in a 10 kg bag. So not a 10-pound bag like Mako and those other ones. It's a 10 kg bag. So you get a great big bucket, which is lovely if you're a dipper. And there's the last two. Let those. I did 2 of the PI Girl mugs in the exact same combo I showed you earlier in the video, with just the 4 colors instead of the 6 colors I normally do. And I did 2 in the Route 2 mugs, like I showed you earlier in the video. So that's those. This one was blue inside, Norse blue, poured out, and then dipped in alabaster, because I have alabaster in dipping too. And then I did a coat of sandstone, probably to about here, and then a coat of light flux. And I don't typically put more than 1 coat of light flux on something, because my jars of light flux usually are really quite thick and goopy. So I don't know what yours are like. And then I have 6 of these, which are once again the Norse blue inside, poured in. And then we've got dipped in alabaster and then light flux on the rim. Oh, and one more thing before I finish up. I totally forgot to mention this. So my last video, I asked you guys to all chime in with what you did on the side, before, now, whatever, as a potter. Holy cow, the answers were so cool. I mean, it's so obvious that pottery or art itself is the great unifier in the world. And so many comments. I mean, we had everything from, you know, psychotherapists to teachers to IT specialists to authors to, I mean, gardeners. It was, I mean, you can go back and read the comments. It's really cool. And they're from all over the world. So that was really interesting too. But so many people in their comments just talked about how finding pottery was such a lifesaver for them, or a mental health saver, or, you know, and I think that it is the power of any form of art is to have that in your life and to sort of be able to let go of all that other shit in your life and just concentrate on creating something pretty, whether it's for you or to sell or whatever. So thank you everyone for weighing in. It was really, really cool. I read every single one. I just thought it was so interesting. So that was my digression on that. And then last 3, I think I've showed you guys everything. So as always, thanks for tuning in. I'll pop on next time I have something to show you guys. And everyone take care, and I'll see you next time.